Welcome back, guys. Today I have the most luxurious SUV you can buy today that doesn't carry a luxury nameplate. I'm talking about the Hyundai Palisade. This is the calligraphy trim. Just came out, brand new to dealerships. It is the most luxurious SUV you're ever going to lay hands on that doesn't carry one of those prestigious nameplates. This thing is insane, and I'm so glad I got to lay my hands on one. So today we're going to actually take a walk through this car. I'm going to show you a lot of features, and I'm going to tell you there is a ton. So buckle in, get ready. We're going through this thing, and I'm going to tell you why this Hyundai Palisade is worth every single penny of its $50,000 price tag. So let's get to it. Really quick, I want to give a huge shout out to Ed Voiles Hyundai here in Smyrna, Georgia. They invited me out here to shoot this video here on the Palisade. They almost never keep them in stock, okay? It's rare for them to even have this here. So I am incredibly thankful that I got the opportunity to film this calligraphy model. They've treated me like absolute royalty here. I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better experience. So very thankful for them, very thankful for this experience. It's truly a privilege. So you guys, y'all can definitely take a look at their inventory. I'm going to post the link to their website in the description below. So again, if you're looking for a Hyundai, whether new or used, doesn't matter. If you're looking for this bad boy right here, doesn't matter. Hit up my guys at Ed Voiles Hyundai here in Smyrna, Georgia. They'll get you the best of the best. They help people from all over the country, guys. So definitely help them out. And if you need to, ask for my guy. His name is Reid Glenn. He's helped me out a ton here. Nicest guy ever, okay? I'm gonna post his info as well. So let's get to the video. So a little history on why the Palisade even exists, right? So the Palisade represents the largest, most family-oriented SUV that you can buy from the Hyundai company, okay? This replaces the outgoing Santa Fe third row model, or XL if you live in Canada, okay? Now, why they did this? Because Santa Fe had two versions, okay? They had the third row model, which was the XL, or just known as the Santa Fe here in the States, or you had the Santa Fe Sport, which was a two row model, okay? There was a lot of confusion there. There was a lot of inter-family battles. So what did they do? They took out that Santa Fe third row model, kept the Sport, and just kept the nameplate, and then they introduced the Palisade. And man, wow. It's going into its second model year. 2021s are just arriving now. Of course, the calligraphy model is just coming out as well, completely loaded out to the brim. It's beautiful. So with that being said, let's take a walk through in this vehicle, and I'm gonna show you why it's worth every bit of it. So let's talk about the front end. This is probably the most imposing front end that you'll see on any new car today. You have this huge headlight unit, you have this huge running light, and then on top of that, you see this? This is only on the calligraphy model. They actually add more running light on the calligraphy model. Not only that, LED indicator there that actually goes through the whole unit here. Looks phenomenal. Down here, you're gonna have a satin garnish that's also shinier than the limited model. So that's another thing that's exclusive to the calligraphy. Also, the whole front end is different. These accents in the grille, they're gonna be different than the limited model. Looks very nice. It has a satin finish there. The Hyundai badge, it is chrome, which looks really nice. You have a 360-degree view camera, so you do have this front camera there, and you got your front parking sensors. This beautiful attention to detail. These kind of rivets that are in the front bumper look very nice. It's very shiny, which looks amazing. And then you do have your radar brake there for the radar cruise control. And then I did notice that down here, you have the same pattern as the grille up here, but it is all gloss black. Kind of interested in why they chose not to do that. I wonder if they just wanted to integrate the brick cleaner. I don't know. It doesn't look bad. I'm just interested of why it's a different color. So, but in saying that, you notice this headlight unit with the daytime running light, it doesn't break up because of this calligraphy addition here. So it goes from there all the way down, and that looks super sharp. Like I said, the headlights are full LED, high beams and low beams. And then right here, you do have a functional air vent. So it does actually channel air through the wheel well there. Helps with not only brake cooling, but aerodynamics also, okay? Now Next, we're going to talk about this wheel set. So one of my favorite attributes of this car is this wheel set. All right, this is only on the calligraphy model, and look how intricate this detail is. It's so cool. Kind of reminds me of origami. It just, all the angles and everything. It looks very aggressive, but very luxurious, okay? This is a 20-inch wheel wrapped in 245 with a 50 sidewall. Looks really nice, and an all-season tire. Just really well done, Hyundai. I'm loving this. So you have this machine finish there, and then you have these painted inserts on the inside of the wheel that are kind of a graphite gray. Just looks super sharp. I'm absolutely in love with it. And then make note, this part of the wheel well, where it borders the actual fender, it is body colored. Looks really nice. And then they integrated the reflector so cleanly. Really, really well done. Good job, Hyundai. So I want to take a look at the lighting on the car real quick. So here in the front, I know the LEDs are going to spaz out on camera, but you can see the whole running light go through. Look at the LED indicators. Look at that. Beautiful. See, it goes through there, and then the LED headlights there. Really hard to see in the daytime, but you can see the running lights here. Goes all the way down, kind of a T shape. That's where their design language is going. LED indicators, your brake light unit there. It's really hard to see, but you see how it's lighting up? Full LED, guys. Full LED. Yeah, see it right there? Look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So let's talk about the rear of the Palisade. So this is where you get a lot of controversy, okay? So with the Palisade, of course, you got the Palisade lettering all the way across the back. I think that's just a classy move. I love it when car companies do that. It just gives the car a lot of presence there. You've got a huge Hyundai badge. This thing is massive. Look at that, almost the size of my hand, but lets you know who's really making these things, okay? In addition to that, you are gonna have a lot of that same finish as you got on the front fascia. You're gonna have that found back here. You do have these little black honeycomb inserts. Looks really clean. Looks really, really clean. If this was just a solid piece, I don't think it would have looked bad, but I'm actually interested why they did that. Rear parking sensors like you'd expect. And then of course you do have this, which is the rear bumper protector, which is also nice. So when you're loading things, you don't get it dirty. On the calligraphy, you do have this accent, which you'll see that on almost all Palisades, but what you won't see is that there's little etchings in this one, and at night when the tail lights are on, these are actually kind of a pinkish red color, and I'll give you a close-up of it soon. It looks absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Down here you got your reflector, but you also have the rear light built in there. It is a really nice shape. It's just a simple rectangle, but it looks clean. It's not overstyled, which is very easy to do in something like this. And then another difference between the calligraphy and pretty much every other Palisade is this brake light here. It's actually much longer. So a standard Palisade brake light is probably about that long. This one goes all the way across, kind of emulates that of more luxury brands, you know, Escalade, Range Rover, etc. They did that really well, and it's linked to this rear spoiler that is fantastically dressed in that beautiful pearl white paint with gloss black on the underside. Very clean. And then because this is of course an SUV, you've got that privacy glass on the back, and then you do have the rear wiper on the bottom here. I feel like there's more than enough space to put that thing under here and make it just a clean look. Kind of wish they would have done that, but you get it. You have H-Track badging back here. So H-Track is Hyundai's patented all-wheel drive system. So very similar to a lot of all-wheel drive systems out there. You can apply torque to each individual wheel that you need to, or brake vectoring as well. So brake pressure to each individual wheel. So if you want to go off-roading in this thing, you can. Is it a rock crawler? No, but can you do some trail riding and stuff like that while being in an opulent state? Yeah. So in saying that, let's go take a peek at what's underneath this tailgate. So let's get inside the rear of the Palisade. You can see this has a lot of accessories. It's got my jacket and it's got my bag. I know you guys are used to seeing my bag by now, but let's take a peek at what you get back here. So look at this. Second and third row seats have buttons back here. The third row is fully power operated. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move this so that way this side can at least be cleared. And look at this. You want to lift it up? One touch. It's a one-touch system, so you don't have to hold down that button. You want to bring it back down? Just press it and let it go back down. You have that for both sides, for the third row only. Second row, it is going to be able to be released, but it's not an electric power one. Not the worst thing in the world, but it is nice to know that you at least have the third row option there, okay? Now, in the back here, you have these buttons here. You're probably wondering, what are those? Those are to change the incline and decline of the seat back. So if your passenger wants to recline, they can do that. Absolutely mental. You have your fast charge USB. You have your cup holders here, tie downs once you lay down the third row seats. Same thing on the driver's side for the third row passengers. And then I'm gonna move all this stuff and I'm gonna show you underneath here. Pull this little tab. You have all this space underneath. You've got the towing kit, the tires underneath the car, and then you have a space to store the cargo cover. Absolutely amazing use of space. And then on the calligraphy, look at this, stainless steel. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. And then you do have these speakers in the back, because you do have, look at that, Harman surround sound. Really, really nice. Oh, is that the interior? Yep, let's go take a peek. Before we take a peek at the interior, I want to point out, look at this mirror. That's the turn signal indicator. Doesn't it just look so pretty? Absolutely beautiful. Now let's get into the interior. Absolutely stunning. I want to first take a look at the door cards. So on the calligraphy model, you have that Napa leather transferred to the door card, and it's kind of, I can't say quilted, but it is this pattern here. Really nice embossed. You have this texture here. I don't know if it's metal or not, but it feels fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. These, the switches, feel like they have a metallic finish. Absolutely amazing. I just love the shape of that. Really, really nice. The handle, metal. You have your memory seats, and then this texture looks really nice. I don't know what material it is, but look at that. It sparkles, guys. It's glittery. It's beautiful. It just emulates luxury. Holy cow. Absolutely stunning. And then look at that speaker grill. Harman surround sound, but that speaker grill is beautiful. Then you got a cup holder on the side, and then look at that Palisade. Absolutely beautiful. Let's take a look at that seat. You have that 3D embossed leather, Napa leather with the contrast piping. You've got these beautiful bolsters. You can see really well appointed. You've got all the seat controls with the thigh extender, lumbar support, etc. Why don't we take a seat? This Palisade. Look at that. 12.3 inch digital cluster. I'm actually going to bring that down a little bit. I am going to turn on my ventilated seat. I'll go over the center stack in a little bit. Let's talk about switch gear. So you have your blind spot detection, lane departure warning, traction control, electronic parking brake, your release for the tailgate. Steering wheel here, wrapped in this perforated leather. I was told that this is exclusive to the calligraphy model. Looks absolutely beautiful, and it feels amazing. Switch gear here. It is plastic, but it feels very nice. It's soft plastic. I'm gonna give them a thumbs up for this. Really well done. You have this metallic finish here. Looks very nice, feels very good. Hyundai badge. Shape of the steering wheel, very nice. I do like the airbag shape. And then you have the same thing over here, radar cruise control. And then you have these paddle shifters. They do feel kind of plasticky, but they feel firm. They feel pretty high quality there. So paddle shifters on the Palisade, that's interesting. Very cool. Of course, you got automatic headlights with auto high beam assist. They are fully dynamic. And then on top of that, let's take a look at the vent shape. Very clean look there. Same thing with the middle. So let's talk about the center stack. So you do have the 10.25 inch screen that's shared with the Telluride and a few other Kia Hyundai products. In the infotainment screen, you've got your sounds of nature, navigation, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, nothing too crazy there. You have your passenger talk, which if you press that, it'll actually project your voice through the third row speakers. That's really nice. And then over here you got quiet mode, which that'll actually turn off the second and third row speakers, keep your front speakers on. And then you got your rear climate controls. You've got the app there, or you can actually come down here and you can see you got the rear button there, so you can access it two different ways. These buttons here, metallic finish, look insane. They look really nice, very high quality. They look very upmarket and they feel really good. One thing I'm still unsure of why the Hyundai Kia Group does this, nav and map. I feel like they should have one button and just have another screen inside there. So like do nav, bring you up to this, and then have another section that just says map, you know. Now, one thing to point out, look at that. It has a seatbelt indicator for each individual passenger in the vehicle. How cool is that? I just think that's super, super cool. And then look at that sparkle. I told you guys, that thing is sparkly. Man. Let's talk about what's going on down here. Dual zone climate controls. You have knobs. Thumbs up to them for keeping knobs. Some companies aren't keeping knobs. In this case, it works really nice. It is a plastic knob, but it feels really good. All these buttons are soft touch plastic, just like the steering wheel buttons. And then you do have a shift by wire transmission. So this is a difference between the Palisade and the Telluride. This is shift by wire, okay? The Telluride has a linkage system, so technically this is a quicker 8-speed transmission, and on top of that, from what I was told, it is a smoother transmission. So we'll find out in a little bit. You have auto hold, so if you're feeling lazy, it'll hold the brake pedal for you while you're in drive. And then you've got comfort, sport, smart, eco, and snow mode. But what I want to show you is this. Put it in sport mode, bam. Put it in smart mode, bam. You want to put it in eco mode, wabam. You want to put it in snow mode, Jack Frost is here. Look at that, amazing. I'm gonna put it back in comfort mode. Full digital display, looks absolutely incredible. Very well done. In addition to that, this is the all-wheel drive model, so if you want to lock this inner differential, give it a 50-50 split, you can. And then your parking sensors, of course, your camera view button, you've got your button to turn off the idle, stop and go, and then here you got your heated and cooled seats for the front passengers, and you have your heated steering wheel. Down here, I'm going to move some of this, my car keys, I'm going to move that. This center stack here, you've got your wireless charger for your phone, 2 cup holders, and then in addition to that, you can open this cubby up and you have more fast charge USBs, another 12-volt power outlet, and a ton of storage there. Not only that, take a look under here. More storage. Again, it's because that shift by wire transmission, it opens up a lot of space and allows you to put so much in there. So you have another 12-volt power outlet and a fast charge USB. Now, another thing about this has the Hyundai Kia Group's blind spot view monitor. Put your turn signal on, look at that. It shows you exactly what's in your blind spot. Both sides in a live feed view. It's absolutely amazing. You don't think it's live feed? Look at what happens when I open up the left door. Look at that. Live feed, guys. Absolutely amazing. Really, really nice. Turn that off. Really, really cool there. So definitely impressed. I love it. Digital, absolutely amazing. And then really kind of hard to see, but you do have a heads-up display. You can see it kind of beaming there against that train cart thing, but it's there. Finally, bam! It's not technically frameless, but it is an auto-dimming mirror, so I'll give it points for that. So still thumbs up for offering an auto-dimming mirror with home link. And then up here you do have the telematics controls for Hyundai Blue Link. You have these nice metallic finishes for the sunroof controls, and of course you have LED lighting everywhere in the car. So very well done, Hyundai. And let's talk about this microfiber suede Alcantara headliner. You get this in the Calligraphy. It is absolutely insane. It feels and looks beautiful, guys. Look at that, absolutely stunning. So without further ado, let's take a look at what's in the back seat. So let's look at the adjustments for the rear seats, or the second row seat rather. So for one, You can slide it forward and backwards. You've got the lever here, so you can change the incline or decline of the seat back. And then you have the one-touch entry system shared with the Telluride. Press that, slides forward. You can get into the third row super easy. You have that same button on the shoulder pad, so if you want to get out of the third row, you can do it with ease. Press that back, roll that back, bring that back, and then look at this area. So the same theme comes to the back. So you have that Napa leather with that embossed leather pattern into the door card, metal handle, speaker grill looks amazing there. They don't bring the big speaker grill back here. I feel like that was because why put an expensive trim where a lot of kids are going to be in and out of? I think that makes sense. Some people might not agree, but I do. You have that same texture here, and the button is the same material as the front. And then over here, you have your privacy shade. So if you want to block out all the haters, you can do that. You do have a small little tiny cup holder here, good for a small water bottle, maybe a bag of chips, something like that. And then this is something that Kia and Hyundai are doing now, but putting cup holders in the actual door, absolutely amazing. I love that. Probably one of my favorite things that the car companies are doing right now. So big thumbs up to you, Hyundai. Really well done. So now let's take a peek of what you actually get in the back seat of the Hyundai Palisade. So in saying that, you have heated and cooled seats for the second row. Absolutely insane. You have your own climate controls back here, which is really, really nice. I like that it's down here. It is a really easy to get area. You got the other climate controls for the seats. In addition to that, you have your household outlet back here. So if you want to plug in your toaster and have some good toast, you can do that. 12-volt power outlet, so you can charge your iPod Nano while eating toast. Look at that. Fast charge USB built into the back of the seat back. Looks really nice. You have storage pockets for both. And then in addition to that, look at that. Panoramic sunroof. Absolutely beautiful. Like I said, look at this suede headliner. Just, oh my goodness. Looks absolutely insane. I'm actually going to open up this vent here. Got the vents built into the ceiling. You've got vents back there, don't you worry. And then, just like the front, you've got LED lighting on the interior for your map lights. Really, really cool. The only thing I really wish that I would find back here is some sort of rear entertainment. It'd probably be built into the seat back versus on the ceiling, just because of this area reserved for the lights and the split between the two sunroofs here. So this is a very, very nice place to be. As far as space, guys, you know it's not going to be anything short of amazing, because look at this. Absolutely a ton of space. I've got a ton of headroom here. I mean, absolutely amazing. Really, really well done. All right, guys, so we are in the Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. Probably one of the most anticipated trim levels for one of the hottest SUVs of the year / of all time. So in saying that, let's talk about why this one is so special. So the Calligraphy is the Mac Daddy of all SUVs that Hyundai has ever even thought of creating, right? So this is Hyundai's way of saying, like, this is what we can do. We're overcoming the hump of people just making fun of us for being that cheap economy brand. You can't say that anymore. You really can't. The Hyundai Kia group is going absolutely crazy right now between the Telluride, Sorento, the Palisade, the Sonata, the Tucson, the Veloster N. If you would have told somebody that they would have created a hatchback that can outperform some of Germany's best hatchbacks, they would have laughed in your face. They would have been like, dude, what are you smoking? You can't say that anymore. And that makes me really happy, because I love it when the underdog wins, and they are winning. So one thing I'm going to make note, this thing is quiet. And when I say quiet, I mean you feel like you're in a luxury SUV. This is incredibly quiet. Probably one of the quietest SUVs that I've been in a long time. You feel very secluded from the world. I'm actually going to bring the visor down a little bit. Very secluded from the world. You can hear the engine a tiny bit, but that's it. In addition to that, everything feels so well put together. There's not a creak or anything. There's nothing out of place. The steering wheel feels amazing. The steering is light and comfortable. I haven't switched drive modes yet, so I'm not gonna tell you what it feels like in that regard. But going over these speed bumps, I mean, it just feels amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I love that blind spot view monitor. So let's talk about $50,000. That is the price tag of this Calligraphy. That is the MSRP. It's $50,000 and some change. Is it worth it? 100% worth it. What vehicle gives you this kind of opulence, these features, for that money? You won't find many, if any. If you want an equally equipped BMW X5, you're going to spend 70, 80 grand. Same thing with Mercedes. Don't even talk to me about Porsche, okay? Because that's going to be a $90,000 to $100,000 Cayenne. It's just unreal. Even if you look at economy brands, domestic brands, if you want an Explorer or you know, a Tahoe or something like that, an Explorer ST tops out at like 65K. If you want a Tahoe Premier or Tahoe High Country, whichever they have as the top trim now, that's an $85,000 Tahoe, which is absurd. Wow, this thing is just awesome. Oh, that was my tripod. Wow. It's got really good power. You can tell, I mean, it's a naturally aspirated 3.8 V6. Because it's naturally aspirated, it's got that power right then and there. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to beg for it. It's got that power. It almost sounds kind of like a truck's V6, to be honest. It doesn't sound like a wimpy V6. Yeah, the transmission's very responsive. I'm still kind of, I'm a little blown away that they put paddle shifters in this thing. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'm genuinely interested on why they did that. This is supposed to be more of an opulent car, so to speak, and they put paddle shifters in here. Very interesting. I'm gonna give it a little bit of power here. I'm actually gonna switch it to sport mode. All right, so I'm in sport mode. I wonder, let's see. Can I downshift? Yep. Third gear. That's awesome. And the gauges are inverted like an Aston Martin's, which I think is super cool. Second gear. Wow. Yeah, it's got pretty good pickup. So the connection I have at the dealership, he's one of the salesmen there. He was telling me the difference between this and the Telluride in terms of powertrain is the fact that this has a shift-by-wire transmission versus a shift linkage in the Telluride. So he was saying that results in a better 0 to 60 and overall better performance in terms of transmission. And I can see how much more connected this car is. I mean, it responds very quickly. Transmission downshifts and it knows exactly where you want to be. You don't have to guess. You don't have to force the car to guess. It just knows. Very, very well done on that. Very, very well done. As far as visibility goes in the car, you have a lot. The mirrors, the side view mirrors are huge. These things are massive, but you can see everything. You don't have to guess where you're at. You don't. You can see everything, which is really nice. Out the back, no issues there. You have that huge glass for the tailgate. And then, of course, you feel airy because, of course, the panoramic sunroof. The one thing I will say is because this thing has the black Alcantara headliner, it kind of darkens the interior a little bit. And I know this is a black interior. You sound stupid. Yeah, like I know I sound stupid, but like it just makes you feel a little bit like you're in a dark, large room, which in return makes you feel a bit more cozy. So I think that's a good move on their part. Let's switch it to comfort mode instantly. Gauges change. Steering gets a little bit looser, definitely to aid in that comfort aspect. This is a really nice place to be. These seats, they're a little bit on the firmer side, which I personally like, but they're still comfortable. They're still very, very comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. And the ventilated seat function, oh my goodness. That thing's a powerhouse in this car, holy cow. Like, they did not skip out on that at all. Oh my goodness. This thing just feels so good. So good. Give it a little bit of gas in comfort mode. Yeah, it knows exactly where you want to be, which is so nice. Really, really nice. And I feel like that's something that a lot of car companies don't get right, because they're too busy trying to make the transmission overly comfortable and smooth that they forget in terms of calibration. So when you're driving it, the transmission's always guessing like, oh, I gotta be here, gotta be here. This car, you don't have that. It knows exactly where it needs to be. Road noise, I'm going about 48 miles an hour. Road noise is pretty low. Okay, honestly, I hear more of the rear ventilation than I do any of the noise. So take that however you will. But to me, I feel like it's a really good thing. I like that. Brakes feel really nice, actually. They're not too touchy, but they definitely stop you in time. I know most people aren't concerned about brakes when it comes to SUVs or non-performance vehicles, but in this case, I think that's really nice. Really, really nice. I'm just so blown away by the level of attention to detail in this car. Like, it truly does baffle me because they've done really well. Yeah, you got your plastics, because again, you've got your economy brand side to this car, but outside of that, you've got really nice materials. I mean, the dash inlay is glittery and sparkly. It's just beautiful. It looks like a metallic paint on the car. Absolutely beautiful. This thigh extender on the seat, like, just a really nice attention to detail. You know, you don't get that on a lot of cars. You just don't. So, something I really, really like. Now, again, I want to give a big thank you to Ed Voiles Hyundai here in Smyrna, Georgia. They did hook it up big time on this car. Like I said, calligraphy model Palisades almost never stay on the lot. So, huge thank you to them. Thank you, Keith. Thank you, Reid. I mean, you guys have just been absolutely amazing. I definitely appreciate it. You guys have treated me like luxury. So, I just want to pass that on. So guys, if you are in the market for a Hyundai, whether it be a Palisade, an Elantra, new, used, doesn't matter, hit them up. Their information's in the description below. And like I said, I will always see you guys in the next video. But you have to see me, and you won't see me unless you like, subscribe, share the channel, and click that bell. What are you doing? Just click the bell. So that way you can get all the notifications for when I release a video. Don't you want that? I've got a lot of stuff lined up. A lot of stuff lined up. So definitely hit that bell. You don't want to miss out on anything that I'm bringing to the table, because I got a lot of things lined up, especially from the Hyundai Kia group, because there's a lot of stuff that they're releasing soon. So do me a favor, support the channel, and subscribe. So in saying that, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, comment if there's anything I need to work on, or if there's any requests for any vehicles you want to see. So until then, I'll see you next video. Thank you guys for watching.